everyone, it's Bree, and I'm back with another scrapbook process video for the Shimmerz Paints Color Kits team. And I am going to be working with the October Color Kit, and it comes with this lovely set of dots, which are epoxy flare. And then it comes with the Creamies in Jolly Green Giant, the Shimmers in Pumpkin, a Spritz in Tuscan Sun, and a Vibes in Hot Fudge. So I'll be putting the link to the color kit below. You do have some time to pick it up, and I do believe there are some kits still available in the shop. So what I'm going to be working with here are I'm going to be punching out some leaf shapes using some paper punches that I picked up at Hobby Lobby as well as Tuesday Morning. I've had them in my stash for a while, and I've been waiting for fall to use them. And when I saw the October color kit, I knew for a fact that I wanted to make leaves with this set because I could make really pretty leaves using all of these colors because they remind me of fall, you know, when the leaves start changing and then they start falling, and they are absolutely beautiful. So I've got my mixed media mat here on my desk, and I am just painting up these leaves. I went ahead and punched all the leaves first, and that way I could just go ahead and spray them up and get them set. Now I am using some Distress watercolor paper, so I'm not adding any gesso, I'm not doing anything. This is basically just watercolor paper, and I'm just going in and painting them and mixing the colors and creating leaves that look real life. Now I am doing this little smushing technique. I am going to be splattering and painting, but then I also have some sprays down on my little mat where it holds the color, and I can just smush my paper onto it just to create lots of layers and get the color moving as well. Now I do, after I apply the first layer, I do go back in and add another layer just to give it more dimension and just to create different little water lines or color lines as well. So yeah, I had so much fun creating these leaves, and I do have it sped up quite a bit. The whole layout probably took me a little bit over an hour, not including drying time, because I, let the leaves dry because they did get really, really wet. So I did this layout over a course of a couple days. So I'm just having so much fun being creative and getting the layers of color on to all of my leaves. So if I haven't mentioned before, we were challenged in the Shimmerz design team to a color challenge. And those of us that were on the Color Kits team, we had to choose one of the colors from the kits and that we normally wouldn't gravitate to, we normally wouldn't reach for on a normal basis, and use that as kind of like a main focus, or use it a lot more than you usually would. And the other girls that are on the creative team and the social media team and the card team, well, all the other ladies basically on the Shimmerz team were also part of this color challenge, where you just pick a color and challenge yourself to use it and reach for it more, and you'd be surprised as to how much you love that color, or you just kind of step outside of your comfort zone. I usually use a lot of pinks and blues and not too much of yellows, and that's what I chose. So my color that I chose for this color challenge for the month of October is Tuscan Sun, and it's yellow. So, and that is usually not a color that I usually reach for, honestly. And I think it's like one of my favorites now. Isn't that crazy? Because it's so pretty and so versatile. It was perfect for this layout because obviously it's a very fall inspired layout to begin with, since I'm using leaves. But I can use yellow for summer and spring, and it's just really gorgeous. And it's like this really deep, pretty yellow. It's kind of like a sunset, basically. Obviously, it's called Tuscan Sun. But anyways, yeah. So I reached for it a lot and made sure that my layout had lots of yellow, and it was so much fun. We are encouraging everybody that is a part of the Facebook group to join in on this color challenge and use a color that you don't really reach for. So if you don't really use orange, or if you really don't like pink and you don't really use it, try to incorporate it into a project and have it as your main focus. All right, so my leaves are almost done. I let them dry and then I added some gold stitching off camera, and I love how they turned out. They're not as flat. They do have a lot of sparkle because that Shimmerz pumpkin has so much sparkle into it or in it, and the leaves are absolutely beautiful. Okay, so I have pulled a stencil from my stash. I actually just picked it up recently. We had an annual scrapbook garage sale that I go to every year, and I always find the coolest stuff. And there was this big bag of brand new stencils that I got for like $3, and this was in it, and I don't have it. So to me, when I looked at it, I thought immediately of like a tree trunk or like a tree or like a piece of bark. Um, and I thought it would be perfect for my layout. So I am applying textures in Tidy Whitey, and it's not in the color kit, but you can pick it up in the shop. And I applied it to the stencil and I did let it dry, and it does have some texture, so it is a little gritty. And I love the way it looks on top of that stencil. It looks so, so pretty. So here I go again with the Tuscan Sun because, you know, it is a part of the color challenge, so I wanted to make my background have a lot of yellow in it basically. And I'm going to go in with some of this pumpkin because I don't use orange to begin with either, and this one is so pretty. I love this color and it's so shimmery and so sparkly. So I added a little bit here and there, just onto the paste, and adding a little bit of water and just letting the colors blend, and I love how it turned out. Now my final project, it kind of unfortunately covers a lot of this up. And I didn't realize that until I was almost done. And that's okay. For the most part, I do like my mixed media to just peek out from my embellishments and my photos and my layers. So it was fine with me. I just, as I was building my layout, I didn't even realize that a lot of it got covered up. That's okay. I had so much fun making it, and I think I'm going to try it again. I just love how that stencil looks with the paste on top of it and the yellow and the orange. So as you can see, when it dries, that Tuscan Sun is very light and so pretty. And look at that shine from the Tidy Whitey paste as well as the Shimmerz. And the vibes also from, is it? No, I'm sorry, the Spritz. And the Spritz does also have Shimmerz in it. All right, so here is where I'm trying to figure out the orientation, how I'm going to have my paste. I did start with it up and down, and honestly, I almost kept it like this. Like I look at it and it looks okay. I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to have my photo and then how I'm going to have my cut file that I used right there. It's going to be my large title. I'm usually not a large title girl, but I was feeling it this day. And originally my photo was super small. I think it was like a 2x3. And so I went ahead and printed it larger because then my title as well as my leaves were bigger than my photo. And I felt like my photo got lost. So I enlarged my photo and I'm happy with how it turned out. So here's where I'm going to flip it back. I think, do I flip it back? No, I changed it again. Like I turned it on its side like a different way. And then now I'm going to change it back. I believe it ended up being upside down. When I first did it, it was the other side, but I just flipped it around basically. And this is how I'm going to keep it. So here are all my pretty leaves. I did, let's see, I only did 3 leaves in the hot fudge, which is a vibe, that brown color. Because it's so dark and because the color challenge I chose Tuscan Sun, I felt like if I made more leaves, the hot fudge, it would take away from my yellow being a main focus, because you know your eye is naturally going to be drawn towards a darker color. So I only made 3 and I make them in like a visual triangle. You'll see here in just a few minutes. But I love how it turned out because it's very subtle, but you can still see it, and it really looks like a real leaf, or they look like leaves, real leaves. I love how it turned out. All right, so I forgot to mention this cut file was a free cut file for the Hip Kit Club Kit members. This was back in March, I think, is when it was. So it's been a long time, and I thought it would be perfect. So I cut it out on some white cardstock, and then I backed it with some paper that came in my October Hip Kit. And I offset it so it would be a little background behind the white. I love how it turned out. So my photo is of my oldest son, Noah. This was taken about 9 years ago. I just created a mini album for Paige Evans using some of some of these photos from that specific photo shoot, but I didn't include this photo into my album. So, because I felt it needed its own uh, large layout, so that I figured I could save it for this, since the colors in the photo matched perfectly with the October color kit. And I'm so glad that I did, because I love how this fall themed layout turned out. So once again, the Shimmerz color kit comes with a set of dots, and this one is the one I chose. It says thankful. I took off the pop dot that it comes with, and I layered some thread underneath it. And I'm going to go ahead and start staggering and layering the leaves that I created. I wanted them to be somewhat natural on my layout, I guess you could kind of say, where I'd have a few little clusters of the leaves, but then I could have some leaves falling, like if they were kind of falling down. Uh, so I put some on the top left and then added some on the bottom right. Okay, so I'm pulling some Hip Kit Club exclusive puffy fray stickers, and I'm going to add it on my photo. That one says love. And then I'm going to add some Spiegelmom Scraps sequins to sprinkle around, just to give my layout a little more shine and then an additional texture. So these sequins are called Orange Orange, and they're so pretty. And I'm just going to scatter these around. There's really not much more embellishing. I do add a little leather, like, what is it? It's like a floral piece, but it's got a lot of, what am I trying to say? It's got a lot of, it's just big. It's tall. I don't know how to explain it, but here it is. It's by Amy Tangerine. And I wanted to add all three of them, like the pink, the yellow, but the yellow is a little too bright. And I thought it kind of made your eye go to it immediately, so I just opted to keep the little orange one, and I love that one. So I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit more of the Tuscan Sun, just a few more splatters here and there, and that about does it. I hope you enjoyed this layout, and I really encourage y'all to go to the Shimmerz Shares Facebook group and join in on the color challenge. Let us know what color that you chose, and show us your layout so we could take a look at it. It was so much fun creating this layout for you. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to mention my name in the notes section of your next order, and you'll receive a free gift. Thanks again so much. Bye.